Entering the Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, the final Pat Mayo Experience of the PGA Tour, a regular season, the last week to get some of those Wyndham rewards points. Here's what you need to do before we kick anything off for the Wyndham Championship Picks, preview, predictions, one and done, bets, rankings, doesn't matter what it is. We'll be talking about it, including recapping last week and talking about DraftKings' new deal with the PGA Tour. If you smash the like button to the episode, leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section. Tell me who you think is going to win the FedEx Cup standings. You're in a draw for 20 DK bucks. If you leave an audio review for the Pat Mayo Experience, 5 stars, something nice, DraftKings handle, boom, you're in a draw for 20 DK dollars as well. And follow me on the Instagrams. Heart one of the golf photos that goes up there. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section. Something nice will give you extra weight. You will also be in a draw for 20 DK dollars. The winners from last week: Georgie Boy 168, Georgie Boy, Toad _A_so, Pappy Happy P Boss, Erica B Shire, and G Hound 133. All have been credited 20 DK dollars into their accounts. If you want to join the Pat Mayo Experience Listeners League, it is in the description of the podcast and on the Facebook video. We cannot post that on YouTube. If you see the link there, it will redirect you to the podcast. That's where you can find it. 3,500 seats this week for the regular season finale. $15 to enter. The best contest on DraftKings. Why? Because it is rake-free and a min cash is double your money. It truly is the best contest, so let's fill that up. We can make it bigger as we go along, and hey, maybe even bleed into football season. Geoff Fienberg is here. I did some Tarantino rankings. People can go check that out. The top 200 football rankings with Custon Gary, and that's out. It's becoming a busy time.
Big things, big week.
You feeling good about the Chargers now?
Oh, well, you want to go there? I don't know. I think I feel fine.
It's the Wyndham Championship. We can just make this a potpourri and we'll get into their picks.
I thought about coming in like suit and tie, like with the new deal, thinking like I had to be like all clean shaven and everything.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to put this show up on the PGA Tour website. I have my doubts about that.
Oh, God. I was wondering, like, does that mean I can't talk about Justin Rose's face anymore?
Yeah, I hate his face. No, I think this is going to remain pretty... If anyone has checked me out, a newcomer from me being on PGAtour.com and the PGA Tour Twitter feed and the Instagram feed and all that, not quite as stuffy as I think people might think about golf if they're just new to the show.
Yeah.
In particular.
No, I don't know. We go different.
I do advocate for pugs and not drugs. So that's a good message to send to the people, I think.
Let's go.
All right. So what do you want to talk about first? You are about to have a baby, potentially during the show.
Not during the show, but like probably later today.
Later today, maybe tomorrow. So congratulations in advance.
We're like at early stages, but everything's cool.
All right. So
I'm here.
We might get through the entire show.
No, we'll get through. My wife's just like, cool.
Wife.
She does like, she's got a support system. I don't got to be, everything is cool.
Everything's good?
Yeah, everything is good.
All right. It's also my anniversary today.
Then we could have a double.
So, yeah. We'll have
just like those Morikawa Brooks doubles.
Yeah. Who was it? Bearoff hit it. Someone else hit it too. I think it was Adon hit it. I think Golf Savages hit it as well. Should we be doing this? Because it happens it seems to happen like twice a year that both the favorites on whatever tours end up winning.
There was the other one that sticks out. There was a Rose Bryson one when I think Bryson was overseas.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe Rose was overseas.
No. Rose won the Farmers and Bryson won Dubai.
No, that's not the same. It was almost the Shriners this year and Rose won in Europe, I want to say.
I want to say that Bryson and Rose both won in the same week, like the last week of January as well.
Then that would be another one. But I don't know if they were like the chalk. I'm just talking about like when the two favorites hit.
Well,
I guess was Brooks the favorite?
Rory was the favorite last week. So here we are.
Yeah,
if that's who you went to. That was nice to see the showdown. I mean, did you watch much of the WGC? It really felt like a burnout tournament.
Dude, Rory golly shucks his missed 3-footer on 3 and it was dead. It was literally like to an alpha like Brooks. That is blood swarming in the water. You limp dicking a 3-footer?
Brooks made every putt between 5 and 10 feet all week. You're going to do that, you're going to win some tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, he's rarely in trouble. And even early.
Also, congratulations to you in your majors versus non-majors Brooks bet. You're up 1-0. It happened right away.
I'll give a cash out of 99.9% right now. Because to me, that was free money. That is ridiculous.
It's not over yet.
It's over.
Oh, so you're pulling a Tim right now? You're calling it over?
It's over.
You know what was not great for me? I mean, out of all my bets last week, another losing week, because that's the only thing I can do on the show is give out losing bets. How Tom cashed a top 20 for me, that was great. It would have been an awesome winning week because Bubba made that eagle on 16. I was like, oh, he's tied for fourth. We're going to get the 25-1 each way onto this. It's going to be great. Bogey, double, and Nelson Adcock lost $20K.
That was painful.
Based off
that would have been.
That's a bummer.
That would have been painful. And also just to clear something up, I'm not like people are like, who do you dislike more, Brooks or Spieth? It's not even like a thing. I think Brooks is amazing. Brooks is Godzilla. I don't dislike Brooks. I just don't buy into everything. To me, when that parking spot's empty, he's like at Topgolf in a disguise, just ripping it up. Or something. Like I see him at like a Muni down the block, like in a mustache and a wig, like getting his practice in. So this myth that he doesn't care can like grow stronger. But apparently he was sick yesterday.
Oh, he had a Jordan game in the final round of the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational.
He's such a boss.
They need to. I mean, listen. I know you want to get all your sponsors into the name, but like for titling purposes, bad for SEO. A name that's like 80 characters long. Wyndham Championship is good. The Heritage, very good. WGC St. Jude or FedEx St. Jude Invitational, not the best.
Well, I guess it's FedEx that's kind of hijacked its way into this, right?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
It's all it all jumps on top, but they don't want to lose the St. Jude affiliation.
No,
and
but
FedEx is local to Memphis, so that's why
so is St. Jude, but it's not like FedEx doesn't like sponsor everything else on tour.
Well, although they sponsor all of August.
They do. And we hear about it all year.
That commercial for the FedEx Cup that they finally started playing.
I didn't see it. Is it good? I
can't even explain it. They have the players, like, you could tell they got them to film this, like, a long time ago. But they have the players, like, elite players making, like, angry, like, football, like, player faces and things. Like, what you might see your favorite teams doing, like, the first day of training camp for the Jumbotron, like, material.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Like, that sort of thing. And I don't know. It's kind of painful.
You got like Sergio mean mugging the camera?
No, it's more like Hideki and Rose, like pretending they're lifting a trophy with these like angry faces is all very awkward to me.
Well, get back to the giveaways. Who's going to win the FedEx Cup? I could see Hideki winning the FedEx Cup. He's just been so close. Oh, like he had a terrible weekend. He started out fire.
Yeah, you see Justin, Hideki, Bryson, all guys I like. Xander, I don't know, name them. Let's keep going.
Like all those guys that have had good years but haven't done really anything.
Yeah, they don't have wins. They don't have wins.
Rose has a win.
Oh, sorry.
We just talked about Rose and Bryson both winning in the same week.
He actually has, yeah, fair enough. And he keeps playing well. And I don't know, Jordan, what's his positioning?
I don't listen. You asked me to pull up like FedEx Cup standings off the top of my head. I don't know. He's in, and he's playing this week.
Yeah, and it's I've been amazed going into it because they shortened the FedEx Cup. You see some guys that are on the bubble that are quite surprising to be on the bubble. But
yeah, someone like I know Noren is 125th. He really vaulted himself up the FedEx Cup standings by getting that free entry into the WGC and like performing okay.
And that was based on being on the Ryder Cup?
Yes. You got to take advantage when you can, right?
I got nothing to say. I don't know. We'll talk about him, I guess.
So what else do we got here? So DK is now in partnership with the PGA Tour. Feel like this should have happened like 3 years ago, but good on the PGA.
Yeah, you can't.
For coming
progress
through.
Is progress.
You can now check out an abbreviated version of my column, minus the jokes, up on PGAtour.com every single week. I'll be doing a quick video as well for them. It's going to go up on all their social feeds. Hopefully I can go to a few tournaments, talk to a few players. I would like to say that I'd like to say that I have more insight than I already do, but I don't.
I feel
kept at arm's length. But I think it's great. Max Homa got himself into the shit and then got himself out of it over the week. That was a nice rebound from him. Bodo stepped in with like an assist for him, being like, here's what you do.
Sure, but it took Max an extra day to tweet the ultimate point. And this is what when he made his original tweet, I think he wished that people had the wherewithal to figure this out. Max Homa can be smart enough, and any player can, two things can coexist. He can be smart enough to know it's a good deal for everybody, for players and fans. It makes sense for that DraftKings and the tour would have a partnership. And he can also not give a shit about your lineup. Those two things can coexist.
I just didn't, because I think Wiley was the one who pointed this out. I didn't actually see anyone like mean tweeting him.
Oh, that's that's a bad look. That you're right. That's where they. Thank you for reminding me. Great insight. Wiley is so good at Twitter.
He is. Wiley's just a good guy.
This guy's good. Yes, he's good at a lot of things.
Subscribe to Golflandia.
Even seeing the scorecards, he's good at golf. Himself. So
much better than me, although it looked like you were having a good round this weekend.
I'm playing well. I'm not like filming shots because I like it just be my friends don't want to waste time filming for you guys, if that makes any sense. But
you got to live that hashtag content life. That's how it works.
I agree. But yes, it didn't seem like there were any like really mean tweets, especially ones that were added. So it was like, oh, I played bad today. Let me go search my name. Not a good idea. You know who else searches his name and reads everything?
Brooks Koepka.
Not a chance.
Geoff Fienberg.
No.
Tim Andercust.
Probably, but he wouldn't know how.
That is very true. He learned over the week what a personal hotspot is on your phone.
I love when Tim learns things. It like excites me.
Well, he was claiming that like he knows phones, he knows technology, and we asked him I just went into my site. He's like, "What do you think a personal hotspot?" He's like, "I don't know." And he also didn't know what an e-ticket was for things.
No. But does he go to things?
No. What do you think he goes to?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's not like there's team, like there's nothing to. No. Yeah. So that doesn't surprise me. Someone who lived like in a city with like lots of events.
I mean, you can get e-tickets to go to. I went to the movies last night. I went to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I ordered my tickets before I went and got them sent to my phone.
The concept of that would be so foreign.
I
to
picked
Tim.
my seat. I scheduled my food to be picked up when I got there, and just like flashed my phone and walked in. It's perfect. And there was a woman in front of me eating popcorn with chopsticks. It's the craziest thing. I don't even know how I feel about it.
That would bother me. No, not bother. Distract. For sure.
Well, it's not like I could see. It was when I was walking in, I just looked over the seat and she just had chopsticks on the go. I'm bad with chopsticks as it is, so it would just be horrible for me. But I like taking like a handful of popcorn and just stuffing it in my mouth and eating it as quickly as possible. And maybe if I get through a large, maybe I'll go get a refill. But I don't like to leave the movie, so I never normally do that.
What'd you see?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was good. I liked it.
How would it rank?
I don't know, because I've seen all of them like 20 times, and I've seen this one once, and I just saw it. Somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
I think I like Django more.
Fair. Melvin Gordon is the answer to person who searches his own name regularly, likes a lot of tweets, comments on a lot of tweets.
Do you have any inside info with him? Are you like DMing with him back and forth, being like, "Here's what you need to do"?
He needs to get a clue, is what he needs.
He might get it. It's sounding like he might get his money.
No.
He might get that David Johnson like 3 for $39 deal.
I don't want to go there. It's still like a few weeks from me, but like, no, I care. I think
Russell Okun didn't
die.
Yeah, but he's not playing, is he?
No, but they expect him to play.
They do expect him to play,
to my understanding.
Oh, see, I wasn't sure about that. Do they have a heart condition or like blood clots?
Blood clot. Just know Hunter is running show.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we got here? So yeah, the DK stuff.
Philip looks in amazing shape.
Of course he does.
So do you. But
Thank
Philip
you.
looks like he's doing.
I actually feel like I'm in less in shape now than I have been all summer.
So maybe it's just the angle I'm on, or the shirt
it's
is
the cut
like
of the shirt.
Like
It's the cut of the shirt.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
a bit tight.
Maybe that's what I was
don't see
gonna
like
say.
the gut hanging out because it's cutting off right here.
Okay.
Good from here up, but. With the DK deal, it's not so much. It's great for the PGA Tour. It's going to be great for ratings and interest, but it always has been. Like you've seen the Golf Channel ratings on Thursday and Friday go up and up and up. And well, I don't have a chart with me to show that DraftKings players versus ratings, and this is why it's going up. If you have a demographic that's getting younger and just sudden interest in all these random golfers on a Thursday, I would have to think it's because of DraftKings. Like, what else could it actually be? But it's the one thing that I think a lot of players are going to come to find out, whether it be, especially like the Max Homas of the world, it's not going to affect Tiger or Brooks or any of these top end guys. They're getting paid. But the interest, if this can actually grow the DraftKings game in the Joel Damons and Hollywood Hoagies and Max Homas and Corey Connors, that level of golfer, that like second to third tier, now everyone's going to know who they are.
So yeah, it's sort of like
That's
how
how
we
we all
know
know-
the second and third receivers on teams where we wouldn't have known them.
Yeah, we know the
before.
third string running
Yeah.
backs in case the two starters go down.
You just
in
know
football.
them, and they're part of their names are so much more a part of people's consciousness than that ranked golfer in any other generation.
And when we talk about it, like if we talk to like DraftKings people or people who bet on golf or whatever it might be, everyone knows these people because that's just a part of playing the game every week. But I think Tim is actually a good barometer of this as someone who pays attention to golf. But then we also get the DM, who the hell is Keith Mitchell? Like, we all know who Keith Mitchell is. But for someone like Tim, who's not, just in the weeds playing DraftKings and betting long shots every week, he has no idea who Keith Mitchell is. But now, if you expand into like the Tim world of getting like those people into play DraftKings because it's the official game of the PGA Tour, and like I think the PGA game that they have now is like pick the winner. And like
It's a very weird.
it's just pick the four guys you know every week.
Yeah, and it's sort of like enter at any time during the year, and you can still always win, sort of thing.
But now you need to check out the Pat Mayo experience and everyone else's great golf content about these low end guys. Who are these low end guys that are gonna like be really good? And like Joel Damon's like a hero of the DFS world because he's been so good for 2 years. And now, like, the masses might actually get to know him a little bit, and maybe it extends into coverage. If you do see, like, an uptick in play on DraftKings and people demand, like, it would almost be worth it, like, if you did the featured groups that, I mean, you wouldn't know until, like, everything actually came out. You could use ownership projections, I guess. If you went to fantasynational.com, look at ownership projections, you could either make groupings or make those those on-demand PGA Live groups. Put like the three highest owned like sub 7,500K golfers together in a group and just show them. You're going to attract a huge audience for that and your product because people are actually monetarily invested in these guys. Don't tweet at the golfers though. That's nonsense.
Oh, that's worst place. Anything to tweet at any of those guys.
How low do you have to be to do that? Honestly. Like,
to actually like at the golfer in the tweet.
yeah, like I'm so mad I lost $3. I'm going to
Is
go on
the-
Twitter. Like you have to be such a fucking loser. Like your real life must suck. what
That's
I'm
the
throwing out
lowest
there.
common denominator to actually at the player.
Like running up to him. If you're
I mean
someone
not
who
running up to him. I mean at like on Twitter,
gonna
where
say-
it like shows up in their notifications.
sure, if you at someone on Twitter because they had like a bad round of golf, you are not the type of person who would say that to that golfer's face because you're a fucking loser. and a
no one
coward.
would say. What do you mean say to a golfer?
I mean, I'm sure there's like drunk people out there on the course like yelling at the players, like, "Come on!" Like Corey Connors this
I
week,
can't
he missed.
even-
He made birdie on like every par 3 and then missed every 5-foot putt on every other hole.
It's no different than anything else. These guys are all freaking winners, man.
Yeah,
That card, that's the card of a winner, and they hold it. And yes, some more of them have to like identify themselves to security each week, but they have a card. Okay? And I don't care. Like guys like who do we like Brian Gay rocking that thing for 20 years? Freaking legend. That's a ugh. They're all winners. They're all winners, even the losers. They're all
yeah,
freaking
even the
winners.
guys that we bet on,
No.
they're life winners.
Yes.
just not gambling.
No,
winners.
don't get me wrong. Like I'm sort of referring to those guys that have lived in like a comfort zone of maybe being like 65 to like 100 in like points. And I do understand there'd be great stress to be guys that live on the bubble of things, but they're all freaking winners. Anyone you're calling out for sure. Card carrying member Max Homa winner.
It's just the people who are doing this are just, like I said, absolute fucking losers. Most people who just live on Twitter, giant losers. nothing going on in their day-to-day life, unless it's like their job.
Yeah, but I like a lot of people on Twitter.
I like a lot of people on Twitter too, but like I'm not talking about like the people that we know. Obviously, they're awesome, just like people who watch this show.
Okay.
But like
Yes.
you see people just like living like I don't know what they do in their day-to-day life besides being like upset on the internet.
I really. There's like a new, or not new, but a long-standing maybe now, like general consensus that Twitter like sucks and is like a cesspool.
It is,
and all that.
It is, a
which
pretty
it
big
is.
cesspool.
But the niche little pocket that I live in, I feel is not. I feel it's very. I think it's great.
Yeah, the golf Twitter sphere,
Like,
very nice. Kind of soft.
There's
but
always
very
listen.
nice.
I'm always here if two guys want to like go head to head, and I can like on a break have like a scroll battle to like catch up on. There was a time where I was like, I wish someone who was bored could give me a cold notes about like the DFS golf Twitter battles that went on today.
I have none.
Yeah, you don't engage. You are above it all. You don't.
I mean, I've been on Twitter now for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like 6 or 7 years ago, I'd be in the mix.
No,
like,
but
having
now
beef
it's
with people.
honestly,
it's really time consuming.
and you just like you don't. I don't know.
I got work to do.
You don't, and you don't even want to give anyone the shine
That's
that
the
you
big thing.
provide.
That's the
You
big
don't want to
thing.
give any. You're not touching my platform. You don't like say it like you don't mock their followers or call them a laugh riot like Tim and they're like 18 followers. But you in your head run the process of this guy will not touch my shine. Like he will not. Like I will not bring him up to my like shine.
Yes, exactly. And listen, I don't care if you have 18 followers. I'm not Tim.
Yeah, that's my point.
I used to have 18 followers.
Exactly.
I remember what it's like. It sucks. And I was trying to do content. Most people with their 18 followers or their 33 followers aren't actively in media. They're just people who enjoy being on Twitter.
And they more than likely just follow and like their people they follow to see their feed than actually tweet at people. I get that.
Those are the life support of like shows like this are those people. So
I
got nothing negative to say about that.
I don't disagree. I don't know. I feel like
but one thing that people can do is at PGA Tour and just tell them you want to see more of the PME and more of Geoff Fienberg.
That can work.
And the more and more people, be like, hey, more DraftKings stuff from them. That will only help because now we're on the radar.
Thank you.
And now it can be enhanced a bit. And eventually, this all culminates with us hosting the Green Zone Live on a PGA digital feed, and everything will work out.
This is all about us giving you the Sepp Straka 5-footer on Friday. Luke List, as that's what this is about.
Maybe this is a conversation. I don't know if we're gonna have a show next week because you might not be in.
No, I'll be in.
Oh, okay. Good to know. So maybe I guess we can talk about it now instead of saving it. Do I have to retire Luke List from the brand once the season is over? Do I let him get through the swing? What do I do here?
I think if anything,
he's on. It feels like he peaked and missed his shot, and now he's on the way back.
No,
down.
it feels like he peaked at that placing at the PGA.
But it's been over the past like 18 months. He's had a really good 12 of those 18 months.
Yeah.
But since that PGA, it's been.
Yeah. I mean, last year there were some hot zones. We haven't really had like a run.
He had like 7 top 10s last year.
I would
argue
argue
he almost made it to the Tour Championship. Last year.
would argue it's almost you just retire it for this year and reevaluate.
Well, I already bet him this week, so I'm going to do it through the course of the regular season. And as we'll find out, there's a lot of crossover leaderboards with the Heritage and the Wyndham. And we know that Luke List enjoys himself a Heritage and some Bermuda grass.
When I saw that Byung-Hun An was 22 on the international team standings for the President's Cup.
I don't know how any of that is counted. How is Jazz inside the top 10? Is it because he just keeps winning on the Asian Tour?
Is that... So no wonder the team is a dead duck to begin with. And they're like giving full Asian Tour points equal to like Ben An finishing 50th or something.
Well, I guess a win's a win. Can't take that away from him.
I don't know. Whatever. It's going to be ugly. There's no point talking about it.
I mean, unless the Aussies get really fired up because it's on home soil. And then you have like Scott and Day and Leishman and Cam Smith, and they just go run train.
It would have to be the perfect storm of like the U.S., like Brooks and Dustin and Ricky, like just being too cool to even like deal with. Like, I don't know. It's Royal Melbourne, right? They always seem to think the Aussies like can live there.
Yeah. So I'm in talks to do a live show in Toronto. So if anyone here is in Toronto or the surrounding area, we're in talks to do a live show. So tweet at me if you actually do have any interest in coming.
Yeah.
That is all I want to know. I want to know if
You got to gauge it.
Yeah, I got to gauge to see if there's actually any interest
Yeah.
in this. We're hoping to do either a fantasy football show before the season. Maybe I'll fly Custon and we'll do a Cuss Corner. I don't know. But if you're local to Toronto, and then listen, if this does really well, maybe we can do one in New York. Maybe we can do one in Chicago, wherever. Maybe do one in Boston when we're down there. But we're just going to get a gauge on this. I think tickets would be like $15 and you get a drink with it or something like that. I don't know. I'm trying to work it out with the venue.
I'm
right
already
now.
like, you just
But tweet at Jeff and I or Cuss and let us know if that's something you would be interested in. Because if not, or you can tell us no chance in hell.
We'll try to get Cam there too.
Yeah, we'll try to get everyone there.
Yeah.
Especially if it's free drinks for like the host. Cam is in. We'll just give all our free drinks to Cam and just it'll be a riot the entire night.
Oh, that would be a lot of fun.
But if you're local to Toronto, let us know. I think the venue is like 100 people. See if we can fill it. If not, say no live show. Anyway, just let us know on that. Let's get into the Wyndham. Like I said, crossover with the Heritage Sedgefield CC, a Donald Ross course, just like TPC Boston was. Or not TPC Boston, TPC Detroit at the Rocket Mortgage, and East Lake is going to be. It's a par 70, 7,127 yards, a very easy course. Sned shot a 59 in the opening round here last year, went wire to win after CT Pan blew it on the 18th tee and hit it OB. OB, as Toad would say
He
in
does
Mario
that
Golf.
in the mix.
Bermuda grass, 2 par 5s on this course. Last year, 70 eagles between those 2 par 5s. Everyone in the field is in play to reach this par 5, these 2 par 5s and 2. It doesn't matter how short or how long you hit it. It's fair game. You got to be good with the wedge primarily. Maybe a 9-iron, 8-iron, depending on it's going to be a pitching wedge for these guys. 150 to 175 yards where the plurality of approaches come from. Strokes gained approach, the most important metric of the week. And you want to be hitting fairways. Rick Gaiman and Jeff Ulrich both threw this out here. 6 of the past 8 winners have ranked inside top 15 for the week in driving accuracy. And there are 8 par 4s measured between 400 and 450 yards. So those shorter par 4s is where you can really beat up this course. You want to get into the faves? Because I like the betting board this week. I haven't liked a betting board in a while. I like this one.
This is always, the Wyndham is always a fun one. It always presents opportunity. Davis Love III brought this sucker home a couple years ago.
That was the year that the last time we saw Tiger be competitive. It was that year.
But my point was like
before he came back
yeah,
and won.
But that was also, to me, even when we were unsure about Tiger's future, at that moment, I probably came on the show the next day and didn't want to talk about Davis Love's win. Wanted to talk about how that guarantees to me Tiger wins again.
And he did.
When people doubted
He's already
it.
won twice.
Oh, and quickly, this whole post-open, and I'm not living my truth. Mainstream outlets are dragging Tiger and his future through the mud again. I do not understand it. The guy emptied everything for that Masters, and then the emotional effect of actually winning it once he won it. No doubt there were some negatives. I think he's really struggled with the schedule of these majors being piggybacked and how little he wants to play, and then he ends up not playing at all. I think at 2 of them. Was I wrong? Right? And the fact that he's going to 8, he's doing President's Cup trips to Australia mid-year, and he's taking that role very seriously. There's no way this guy won't find won't bury some 66s on humid days and have a couple moments. I want to say at least in the next 2 years there'll be moments within each year where he catches his heater.
I agree.
But they won't be extended, and his chances are limited because he just simply plays less. But I do not doubt for a second the heater happens each year at least 2. I think at least 2 more years. And if I would stretch that, almost tempted to double it.
Phil won earlier this year. He's 49.
Yeah,
Tiger's got shots here. They're
Yeah.
going to be few and far between, like you mentioned. But when he's playing his best, it's just not going to be to the same level where he plays his best every single week. And to string it together for all 4 rounds is going to be super tough as well.
Absolutely.
But it's going to happen.
And he's going to next year figure out a better way to attack the major season.
Did you see the new schedule?
No.
Because the Olympics are next year.
Of course.
Which would start around now. So the Wyndham happens after it, then they get into the FedEx Cup. But it doesn't seem to be too thrown out of whack. not really sweating it. It's not like all the guys that were going to be playing in the Olympics are going to be like, oh, I need to show up to the 3M in Wyndham. They weren't showing up anyway.
And I don't doubt a couple humid days in the FedEx Cup, Tiger like crushes it. I don't know if he's going to actually win one though, but
I think that he might play a bit more to see if he can make the Olympic team. He might. It's the one thing he's never done.
yeah,
Just to do it.
just to do. But is it a realistic goal?
Yeah.
When you have, is it?
Listen, that Masters win pushes him up the list quite a bit.
I know, but is it a realistic goal?
I don't know.
It's-
I don't know what, like,
What are the rules? It's max 3 guys.
I think it's 4 guys. 4 guys per country if you qualify. He'd have to win twice. And probably win
real
another
hard.
They should really just give him a spot, but they won't. It's the Olympics. And as Tim said, the Olympics are about 3 things: running, swimming, and horses.
His affinity for the summer games, or I guess the Olympics, because the winter games is the inferior one. But
I much prefer the Winter Olympics.
yeah, and I don't get me wrong, I can get into anything watching people compete. Like I watch and all the boring stuff. Like I'm into it. There's a medal on the line in like 15 seconds. Like I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, but only if the medal's on the line in 15 seconds and you're not watching the heats for pole vaulting.
Fair enough. Unless like it's up next, a Canadian.
Really? You get sucked into that?
You know how they do it here.
I do know how they do it, but if you ever hear up next a Canadian, chances are that person's coming in dead last. That's how the Summer Olympics works for Canada.
Yeah.
Unless it's rowing.
The Summer Olympics is about Canadians achieving personal bests.
Yeah, PBs. Got to get it on your PBs.
Yeah. Okay.
The favorites for the Wyndham Championship. Webb, a former winner of this event, coming off a great week at the WGC, 11-1.
Local.
Hideki is 14. Spieth decided to join late. He's 16. Morikawa coming off the win is 18. Yes,
What a win.
He is playing. Casey is 20. Reed is 22. Sned, the defending champ and 2-time winner, is 25. Billy Ho,
Woo, woo.
30-1. I got a bet here. We've been talking about it now for like 6 weeks or like 2 months, and he's playing
Patrick
great.
Reed?
Patrick Reed, 22-1. Let's go. He's won this event before. He's playing great. I worry that he doesn't hit a bunch of fairways, but his off the tee game has been surprisingly better as of late. And just
he competes here.
He's won here. This was his first win in 2013. He outlasted Spieth. He was 1. Spieth was 2. So I like Reed a lot. 22-1 seems like more than a fair number. The odds just are really like, I love Morikawa. Don't get me wrong, but here's okay. Morikawa's 18-1. Hovland is 33-1, and Wolf is 50-1 now. It seems all out of whack, doesn't it? Shouldn't all these guys basically be the exact same odds?
Haven't the last month really proven that?
Yeah.
Like it does. Any week, any one of them is better than the other, and sometimes by the slightest of margins, like Wolf getting to drop that eagle and kicking Kidd out of the playoff.
Yeah,
and what a man! His golf on the 16th and 17th hole yesterday at the Barracuda. I don't know if you watched it.
I did not.
The two like the hardest holes on the course. He just attacked it. 16, no one was getting to that back. He got there. On 17, he had to hit a bomb putt in the end. But you could tell by the ferocity, if that's even a word, in the swing, like he was going, he was attacking it. And I don't know, so cool. Does he remind you of anybody? Because I can't figure it out. Because I can't figure out how tall he is. Because I don't think he's as tall as Justin. So like a guy that wiry but small.
Like Justin Thomas?
Yeah.
Justin Thomas is only like 5'10", isn't he?
So then maybe that's it. Because I remember the first times we saw Justin, like he's obviously gotten like a bit bigger. He's becoming
I think he's like 5'10", like 160,
but he's like just tall and very wiry, right? So maybe that would be my.
I think he's like a less jacked version of Rory in terms of
okay,
size.
that was the other one because Rory's tiny.
Yeah,
and you
Rory's
see
not
Rory
a big dude.
hit that ball.
That's why he has to be super jacked, by the way. People don't seem to understand that.
Rory's jackedness?
Like the fact that he can hit the ball farther than Dustin. Yeah, a lot of it's swing, but like the torque that he generates is because he's super jacked, and that's what he works on. Like Rory 10 years ago wasn't hitting the ball quite as far as he is now. I like that, and the narrative around Rory now. Rory sucks again. He came like,
Oh, Rory Sundays again?
Yeah.
Rory Sundays? Yeah, Brooks came with like the whole thing.
Rory won twice this year. He won the Players, won the. I think people just forget how hard it is to win, especially when you're playing against all the best guys.
Oh my God.
Like Rory shows up to Hamilton, and he fucking dusts everybody.
It's so hard to win. That's why, like, when you don't play an each way, or even still, that's why, like, the second places, like, from a betting standpoint.
I have 6 second places this year, and a lot of them at big odds. Like, that's the difference in my, like, I started this year out so hot. I had 2 winners in the swing. I had 2 winners in the first 4 tournaments, and then I've just been basically a cold fish the rest of the year. I hit and I think that might be it. A couple of each ways near the top. But, like, the second place finishes on these guys in, like, the 33 range have just flipped 3 of them my way, and I'm having a great year.
In the words of Faraday, could have gone in for the same price. The second places, because it is so hard to win. And I feel like coming in second when you're trying to pick the winner of 150 guys is literally like infinitely just about as hard as picking the guy who wins. I'm not just coming here trying to guess who comes in second.
I'm still mad about the co-crack at Valspar. He really should have won that week.
Yeah.
But then we got the sweat-free Kevin Na and didn't have to hedge it, so maybe that makes up for it. Anyone else you want to target here from the top? Because, like, you can make a very compelling case for a lot of these guys. I kind of targeted this as the spot where Spieth would win.
Is Cam Smith still playing?
Yes, I believe so. The last check that I saw that he is in the field. We're not even on him yet, though.
Okay. Oh, I just see a mud. Oh, sorry.
So the 30 and below guys, like, do you want to touch Morikawa coming off a win at 18-1?
No, not at all.
Do you want Hideki at 14?
I would rather Hideki than Webb, but that is because I'm probably not all there.
Yeah, like the 2 that I would go with, like I'm going with Reed. I'm in on that one already at 22. Casey would be the other one just because that feels too low for him in this field.
Yeah. But then in the end, you got to pick one. It's like, I'm going to pick
my guy,
to
Patrick
win
Reed.
the golf tournament.
If I'm still going all in on my FOMO guys this week, I might as well just chuck Patrick Reed onto the card.
Like, what do you, like, because I still think about how quickly Reed would have dusted Casey in a playoff if he didn't 3-putt on 18 at the Valspar 2 years ago.
Remember that too?
Would have dusted him, but doesn't matter. Like, that's just me talking.
The worst part is accuracy-wise of all these guys near the top, and like I had mentioned, 6 of the past 8 winners have finished top 15 in the field in driving accuracy the week that they won. Reed and Snedeker were the 2 exceptions to that rule for the Wyndham Championship, but Snedeker, Reed, and Spieth all don't hit fairways, yet are still going to be completely live because they're so good out of the rough. And what if Jordan Spieth just has magic putter week?
I talk about this a lot with players I like or players that catch my eye. So I'm self-aware enough to know when I have to talk about it as it pertains to Jordan. When you're a player with talent, Jordan has talent. I can make my jokes and people can overstate my jokes because my claim from the beginning was always he's just not as good as these other guys that we are calling the best of the best. He's just not. I can't take his accomplishments away from them, but there's a level of magic beanery that I also can't ignore. That being said, he's a world-class player and he's making a ton of birdies. And he works hard.
He's turned into like Phil and
Yes,
Ricky.
but we talk about this. Phil before he won. Like there was like a 2-year period where he was like the most birdies on tour almost, or for the week. Like he was always near the leaders of birdies made.
Triple bogeys too. Also
everywhere,
the leader.
Everywhere, big numbers. But guys that are that talented and that good that have won before, the fix could literally be as small as like a fingernail. So like the smallest little thing can clean up their game and the bogeys go away and the birdies are still there. Now, it's extremely concerning when you're not seeing the birdies. When you're just like seeing trouble, you're like, I don't know, okay, maybe he can clean up the bogeys, but I don't have confidence that he can go low, even if he cleans up the bad stuff. Jordan cleans up that bad stuff, he's going low. And for our head-to-head, this is your last shot, and I'm worried about it.
No, it's not my last shot. I got 3 more tournaments. Wait till he wins the FedEx Cup. Just pulls a Bryson through the FedEx Cup.
This was the one.
This is the one I had pegged.
That we joked about when we made the bet.
Yeah, if Jordan plays this, he probably wins. And Cuss has picked him as his one and done. So
I don't know if that's good or bad. It's not a big tournament. Cuss only does well in the big events.
So the problem with Spieth here, though, like I would back Spieth if he was a fair number, but we're getting not primo Jordan Spieth numbers, because he'd be 7-1 if he was peak Spieth right now. But there is no benefit of the doubt in the odds. Like, he's 16-1. He's expected to contend and win, and I don't know if he's near that. And when I can get Patrick Reed at 6 points better, who's just playing a lot better and ball striking a lot better, and he has cleaned up his off the tee game a lot over the past month, because that's really where he was struggling. The irons are firing, the driver is firing. He just can't hit a putt, but we know he's a good putter.
I actually want to completely backtrack this being your last chance, because he is in the FedEx Cup. And I'm going to say this, and I believe this more than what I said previously. The way Spieth is playing and making so many birdies, he is just as likely to win the Tour Championship as he is like the Tour Championship at double his odds, because Brooks and Dustin, like, there's so many cooler players despite Jordan's game improving. Do you feel what I mean? Like, when he clicks, it's going to win. It could be here, but if the game gets cleaned up at the Northern Trust or one of these premier FedEx Cup events, he's going to win also.
I'm trying to look for Spieth in the FedEx Cup standings.
Yeah, I asked you earlier.
I just pulled it up. I can't find him. He's behind Morikawa.
But he's probably better than you're thinking.
No, I don't think he's 67th. He's one spot ahead of Bubba Watson, one spot behind Kevin Streelman in the FedEx Cup standings. So he could use like a decent week here to push himself up the charts a little bit, because right now he's just in the field for the BMW.
I would have jumped on board at a fair number.
Yeah, I don't think this is a fair number.
bet him one other time this year
at Pebble Beach,
and I didn't bet Phil. It was like, I'm only betting one of these guys. I'm not betting.
The move was bet both of them, walk away a winner.
Yeah.
So
and Friday night, I thought I had the right guy.
He looked great. So Reed, 22?
I'm in.
All right, next level of guys.
I'll take a player I love into a week that I'm certain will be showered with baby swag.
From 30-1 to 100-1. I only have two guys in this range that I'm in on so far. Do you know who one of them is?
Well, would Cam Smith at 50 interest you?
You have him at 50? I have him at 35.
You want some of that?
I don't know. Once I saw the number, I kind of wrote him off. But yeah, 50 would be in. I have a guy in here, though. We've now seen Matthew Wolff win. We've now seen Colin Morikawa win.
Oh, it's time?
And now it's time for
We're
Victor
just
Hovland
connect
to win.
it? Let's do it.
And we're getting 33-1. He was like 14-1 2 weeks ago.
Right?
And I like how this course plays out for him. In his past 3 starts, he hasn't been worse than T16. The guy can't make a putt to save his life. Like, he's an active bad putter. But the amount of strokes he's gaining off the tee and fairways over the past 24 rounds, 6th in fairways gained in this field. Like, you know, this sets up perfectly for him. And he's just seen the other 2 guys do it. Do you think this is the extent of the curse? Because I know that he is cursed, and maybe that will hold him back. But since Tim claimed that he's by far the best of the guys that have turned pro, Morikawa and Wolff have both won. Like, he might be the most talented guy in this field.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. But I feel like we did have the conversations, and I don't know. I was genuine. I don't know whether you were just trying to stay on brand and agreeing with me, that I did feel some of the layouts on the PGA Tour would probably lead to Wolff winning first.
I agree.
And that did.
I agree.
And that did. But I'll admit, I didn't think that was probably going to happen till the fall. Like those same tracks that Cam Champ.
Yeah, but we didn't realize, like, after I walked the course at the 3M, I was like, oh, this is just a bomber's paradise. Like, just go out and smack the ball as far as you can and make some birdies. This course takes a bit more precision off the tee, and Hovland has that precision off the tee. So I'm in at 33-1. I want to be there. I want to be there with Big Vic.
Are we going to 50 also? Because what about Neiman?
We're going from 30 to 100.
What about Neiman?
Neiman's good.
Because him off the tee at that last event, where was it? Not the U.S.
He played the British and missed the cut.
So I'm not that.
So the John Deere the week before. He was 10th at the John Deere, crushed at ball striking, made a ton of putts, came 10th.
And what about the week before?
He was 23rd at the 3M after a bad final round, 5th at the Rocket Mortgage, 5th at the Travel.
This guy off the tee, like, I don't find him finding trouble one bit, and I don't know.
Do we just play? Listen, it's the last regular season event. Do we just bet the guys that we really like? We'll go with Reed, we'll go with Hovland, we'll go with Neiman, and call it quits.
I don't mind any of those guys. There might be others. Like, does Shez do anything for you at a place like this?
Shez rates out amazingly for this course. But this goes back to your point, is these guys that win twice in 1 year. Is Shez a guy that wins twice in 1 year?
No. Especially, it was a long layoff, but I don't know. It feels like a really fair number in this field.
I tend to agree. Like, if we talk about overall talent, Noren has been picking it up lately.
Picking it up.
And he's like
he's a class form guy.
How much do you put into guys that need it this week? Because I put no stock into that. But if you were to play that game, like guys that need to get into the playoffs and this is their last start. So the guys that are currently 10 spots in, and I actually bet one of them just independently of this, but at number 125 to 115, Noren's 125, Streb, Munoz, Perez, Garnett, Aaron Wise is 120, Blix, Kraft, Armour, Martin Laird. Those are the 10 guys in. The 10 guys on the other side, Austin Cook, Wawrinski, Marty Trainer, his terrible girlfriend, Patton Kazire, Peter Uline, Daniel Berger, Andrew Landry, Bronson Burgoon, Sean Stephanie, and Wes Roach. Guys like beyond that who need to have like a top 3 to make the playoffs. Duffner, Keimer, Zach Johnson, Jimmy Walker, Brendan Steele, like guys who make the playoffs every year are like deep on the outside looking in. Do you put any stock into that?
Not a ton.
Okay,
you got to be playing. How do I
like? Does Austin Cook play better this week because he has to have a good finish to make the playoffs? I will
say this: in an individual sport, if you're not playing well, to steal from the great Peter Lubardius, I don't think desperation breeds brilliance.
Yeah, because it could just go the other way, right?
Equally, it's a fine line,
and you're never gonna know.
It's a fine line. Yeah, well, Keimer was like Coach Chalk last week, right? With Morikawa, pretty much.
Yeah, Keimer's playing a bit better.
It was a layout that was like kind of such a disaster for him, but he knew his situation. He just got to play.
Yeah, got to play, try to get in. I think this place actually rates out a lot better.
Agreed.
For him. So Hovland, Neiman.
Streelman's like hot heater over because this was a number. People were like jumping at the 40s. For a bit of
we're
a
now
run.
Getting into a spot where you can only take so many people. Like if you just want to start your card at 60 here and go down, like I think that's a very viable strategy as well.
Right. It's a weird. I mean, I mentioned the Davis Love thing. It does seem to be a tournament that does seem to award the class, though, right? That does show up.
Arjun Atwell won here as a qualifier 10 years ago.
Since I really
Davis Love won at like 500.
Yeah, that'd have been crazy.
The thing is, much like the Heritage, there's no like one particular skill set of player. There's not just a particular set of skills that really translate through. Anyone can kind of win. Berger also needs to win, or not like to come inside the top 5 to make the playoffs. Your buddy having a great year though, not inside the top.
Do you
25.
know who I had money on? This Grillo was so hot, missed a putt that stopped like an inch in front of the cup. He like yelled at himself for about 20 seconds. He didn't make a birdie for a day and a half after that.
So another guy that I'm on here who rates out really well in terms of that accuracy metric that I talked about, finds some of the most fairways of anyone on tour. Great ball striker. Really lost the ability to putt, which is nothing new for him because he's not a great putter. But Kyle Stanley is 80-1, and he's just playing a lot better.
I've seen that number a lot bigger.
Oh, have you? Well, if that's the case, then maybe I'll go jump on that. But the 80 is a very good number. You can each way that. The other guy that I was looking at is...
No, I lied.
He's up, he's down, but if we're talking about like class of player, Beauregard at 80 just seems wildly undervalued for this field, for like based off world ranking versus him. Like, why isn't he like, I know he hasn't been playing well, but like, why isn't he 50? What makes, I don't know, Russell Henley 66 and Lucas Beauregard, who's 200 spots higher in the world rankings, 80? Seems kind of
Henley's
strange.
had like two, like
He had one good tournament.
Yeah, he also, I think, had like a top 20 last. I was going to say 2 top 20s in the last like month.
He came second at the John Deere.
I don't really have an answer.
Just seems strange. And like a lot of it isn't ball striking related with Lucas. Beauregard just can't putt. Anyway, that's really all I got from this middle range. Like you could make a case for like the CH3s of the world, the Bill Haas's of the world, guys that historically play well at Heritage. I think you can go look up.
I think I'm going to bet on Noren.
Noren?
Yeah.
Noren or Neiman? Because you're gonna go with me on Hovland? So you got Reed and Hovland. It's a 22 and 23. I don't know how many more shots you can take from below 50. I mean, you can take as many as you want, I suppose.
I guess I could. That's fair. But has Im do anything for you?
feel like
It was
swing season might be the time for Sung Jae. He just played so much.
There are a
golf.
few over 100s though that have me licking my chops.
Of course, always. Just a fun way to flush money down the toilet. Here's some stats I looked at. I mentioned 8 of the par 4s are between 400 and 450 yards over the past 24 rounds. The best in the field from that range: Webb, Charlie, Reed, Armour, Landry, Shez, Morikawa, Redman, Harris English, Brant Snedeker, Jordan Spieth, Bo Hostler are your top 12. And if we're looking at fairways gained over the past 24 rounds, you can find all of this on Fantasy National. Set whatever date that you want in date range. So become a member now. Shez, Duffner, Armour, Stanley, Herman, who withdrew actually, so he's out. Adam Long, Hovland, Stewart, Zach Johnson, Austin Cook, Jonas Blix, Joel Damon. The only 2 crossover guys there, I believe, are Shez and Armour. Armour's 100 to 1 and finished really good here last year too.
No, like you said, this course they can win playing their game.
Yeah.
Like your Streelmans, your Armours, they can find position A off the fairway and, hit it to 8 feet for 4 days.
Hadwin?
This is the type of course that would work for him. Has he played well here before? Because I notice Hadwin always just shows up. I'm not a course history guy, but
he's played here twice, 51st and 33rd in
Hadwin
15 and
plays
16.
well where he plays well. I have noticed.
He's just playing better recently. Like he has 2 top 10s in his past 4 starts. He made the cut at the Open. And it looks like he's picking these shorter tracks. Like he played Hamilton. He played the Travelers. He played the 3M. Although the 3M was a bit lengthy, but he played really well there. Putted the lights out, though. Approach and putting. This is what you're going to need this week as well. Beyond 100 to 1, the long shots. List is now 125 to 1. Of course, I'm playing that. Did you know? Woo!
I see 100. You got to dig deep to find that on the page, friend.
I see him at 160 to 1.
Ridiculous.
I'm in. He's won this event before. I'm in.
Ridiculous.
Although he might be hurt. I really feel like he injured himself that week that he should have won when Corey Connors won. And he has not been good since.
The guy's done enough in his career. If he's hurt, he's gonna grind out and he's not even making cuts. I know that's his brand to DFL or T5, nowhere else. But it just seems like I don't know. I mean, one last kick to get in the Fed at where
he's up and he has 4 top 10.
So that's what I mean. He doesn't even.
He's ahead of Spieth in the FedEx Cup.
If he was hurt, would he be playing the week before the FedEx Cup?
I don't think it's an injury I can't play, but I just
discomfort.
Ever since then, he has been objectively bad.
Okay, yeah.
And before that, he was pretty good. So, but anyway, 160 to 1 I'm in. Champ is 225 to 1 now. Might as well take a shot on him.
Yeah, you cut that one off. So you mentioned Siwoo, obviously.
Yeah, List Siwoo Champ, and then I'll reassess next week to see if I want to continue to be on these guys.
I hate to do it. I think every show might make the joke, but what do you think? Any Wyndham Clark love?
I think Doc Redman at 125 is probably the better play.
Yeah, but it's Wyndham at the Wyndham.
That's a good narrative you got going. Per my Fantasy National custom ranks, the top 10 over the past 24 rounds: Hovland, Hideki, Shez, Neiman, Stanley, Webb, Casey, Harmon, Morikawa, Streelman, Reed, Straka, Hadwin, Von Taylor. The only other guy I really like from down here, I got him 125, Peter Malnati. He's made 13 of his past 14 cuts. He might just be a better cheap DraftKings play than anything, but he's won on tour before. He puts the lights out, and he just plays better at these shorter courses.
What about JJ?
So I'm in on Malnati.
JJ Spawn?
I don't know what to do with that guy. Favorite of the show, but.
And our dude, Gup won that contest to go to
with HV3.
Yeah,
How did Gup?
So
out of all the people, Gup just wins.
That's
rigged.
Awesome.
Sounds very rigged.
No,
I'm for it, but
I think it's more. Gup is good people and
he had good karma,
and blessing and God's plan, and he's taking JB runs the pools and with Gup and
man
and
being into this God thing sounds like it's paying dividends. Maybe I need to get in. My mother-in-law has been up, so we're going, like, they're watching the kid tonight. We're going for, like,
Awesome.
It's like we
It's your
so
first
rarely
haven't had a dinner and probably
we haven't had a dinner. So we get our
so good for
anniversary
you.
dinner. It's gonna be fun. But like, she was at church yesterday. Where I was like, church? Crazy talk. What are you doing? And she's all in. My grandma did it too when he came. I didn't know there were churches around here. I thought like
They're
Toronto
everywhere.
I thought Toronto had
man.
gotten rid of that. I thought it was just Jewish people now.
That's not fair.
I thought it was.
Now you are, because that's so like not true, and there's so many people that are just gonna like hear that and just like
Be mad about it?
not mad, just like have that assumption.
well, it's funny,
And
like-
that's so far from true.
Well, no, it's just the people people of my age range.
Are Jewish? What?
No, like I've been to probably 20 weddings over the past
Oh.
2 years. The only like denominational weddings that I've been to are Jewish weddings. Everyone else is like, let's do it in a park and get some person to like, let's speed this up and get to the
Because we're
party.
pussies. We don't have the balls to tell like our grandparents are like no, we're not like doing that.
Doing it at the church. I went to one
Well,
Catholic
not
one.
the church, but
And like everyone I grew up with is Catholic and was like deep into like Catholicism is like I went to Sunday
I
school.
think I have
as a
the
kid.
balls to tell my grandma no hora.
I don't know. I told my grandma, I was like, listen, we're doing a ceremony. It's going to last 7 minutes, which it did. Everyone was fucking fired up. There's nothing worse than being like the person sitting in the church for an hour-long ceremony. One of my friends did their Catholic ceremony in Latin. I think they were actively trying to punish us. Like, no one goes to the wedding for the ceremony part. People like the booze part.
Right. Even
It's just like you put
honestly,
your speakers
yeah.
on the clock, 5 minutes
Dude,
tops.
Speeches, you take a Don Cherry approach. Like you leave them wanting
Let's
more.
go!
No,
Coast to coast!
You just like bang, bang. You leave them wanting more.
Yeah, we went to one.
I've been to some. These people think that it's like
Everyone is super
20
into it.
minute. Like no, but I don't know. I've been to some like long speeches. No, quick, hard, funny. Boom, off.
We had one that had 6 groomsmen, 6 bridesmaids. Both sets of parents talked. Everyone's brothers and sisters talked.
no.
All 6 of the people on the stand
I'm
talked.
going
it
home.
took like 4.5 hours. No, it was a secluded wedding too. It was like, get to the booze. Fortunately, we made a game for ourselves at the table. There's kids running around. Also, ban kids from your wedding. Top-notch move. Really keeps everything very
yeah, that
focused.
was. I don't even think about that stuff. But my wife was like,
We did
yeah,
that. We had
didn't-
adults
yeah.
only, the wedding. There was no nudity at the wedding, but it was adults only. But there was kids running around, so we had one friend at the table who kept turning around to high-five the kids. He likes playing with the kids. Not,
Yeah, don't.
I
Yeah,
don't want that to sound weird. But yeah, just having fun. But every time he'd turn around, we had like the table wine that the friend sitting next to him would just refill his glass full of wine to the very top. So it made him think that he wasn't drinking a bunch. And then he was like falling off the table by hour 3 of these fucking speeches. It was awful. Anyway, that was a fun diversion.
What about Sabs? Everyone like there was a run of
Do
Sabs.
you want to back him 40-1 though? It's like the same thing with Norin and Spieth at 16. Like,
I'd rather back Norin.
I feel like we're getting legitimate.
I'd rather back Norin.
I feel like we're getting legitimate value on guys that have been wildly overpriced. Like the Hovland number makes no sense to me. Either he's good or he's not. Either he's a favorite or he's not. Like
Either he's better than all of these guys or he isn't.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
don't get 33. Like if you put him at 20, people would bet him at 20, wouldn't they?
There seems to be
I wouldn't,
this,
but I will bet him at 33 for sure.
Again,
'Cause I think that he should be around 20.
There he is already has like a forever movement. So yeah, I don't disagree.
All right, quick picks for the Wyndham Championship.
Can I
You can do whatever you like, sir. Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell your story? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So there's a sportsbook out there I will not name. In the end, they've handled everything great. Or fine. No, adequate. I can't even without a name, I can't give them too much credit.
Can I jump into the beginning of this
Yeah,
story and
sure.
then throw it to you? When you walked in, all I heard was you on the phone, and all you said was, I don't have mental health problems.
No, that's not what I said.
Oh, sorry. That's what it sounded like to me.
What I said was I feel okay, now I have to backtrack. But what I did say was I feel that the reason I've wanted to complain to you, and instead I've had to spend our entire time defending my mental health.
Yes, that's exactly
Was along
what
the
you said.
lines of what I said. So did it wrong and admitted they were right, but it took them forever. And they told me, no, I was wrong forever. And in the end, they admitted I was right. And I wanted to just speak to somebody at customer service. And because they're far away and they don't have a number where I can call them, they offer to call me. I've been waiting a long time for this call and they're really bothering me, but they have like an internet chat service. And I was like complaining to the person and I said something never say when dealing with somebody involved on the customer service end of a sports book. But I said dealing with you people or you got to beep that.
I'll beep that. No problem. Yeah, what do you mean?
Yeah, I don't care.
People?
You people dealing with you people is like requiring me to get what did I say? A mental health
therapy dog.
I this conversation ends like you're making me need like a mental health therapy dog. Right there, my account is blocked. I have serious issues that I want to speak to them about and complain about.
But they're like, you need to sort out your more serious issues first, pal.
Yes. And I get it, like, from their end, like, you say those two words.
It's like joking at the TSA line. Airport, not the best venue for comedy.
Yeah, because they don't know you. It's not like you're walking, like, you know, they just take your money and they don't want to be, like, sued when you, like, jump off a bridge by your family or something. Like, I get that word is a red flag to, like, that customer service chat.
Didn't stop you.
No, it wasn't like, gambling doesn't cause, I don't have mental health issues. Gambling doesn't cause me mental health problems. Dealing with your customer service is what was causing this. So then when I finally, they did finally reach out to me, I had to spend that whole thing. I could no longer be angry about what I was angry about because I had to be in a good mental state. And you heard it, so I was like very calm, but it was like
you had consumer voice on the phone. Like, you didn't have your voice, because I do it too. Like, when you're dealing with, I have two ways that I talk to people in customer service on the phone. I'm either belligerent and angry, or the nicest person on earth, depending on how the conversation goes. And you were just trying to get to that next level, like, just trying to be nice. I need to go up a level here.
Yeah.
I need to talk to your manager. Like, look, I know you are helping me a ton. And sometimes if the person's actively trying to help you, they get the nice voice. If the person seems like they're just throwing roadblocks in your way, it turns on a dime pretty quickly, I feel.
Yes. In the end, I was right. Not only did they acknowledge that they owed me funds, they gave me
extra funds.
For a sports book, a very large amount of free funds.
Well, it's not customer acquisition for a sports book is far more than what they gave you. So they want to keep you on.
I don't doubt that. That is an insane. I mean, all these things have offers and things. They know how important it is to get once you're in their system.
You got to keep them.
Dude, just having my email probably isn't even worth what they gave me. Well, maybe it is.
Yeah, it's probably worth about that.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's a value to all of it, and there's systems that are far smarter than I am. But I don't know. They frustrated the hell out of me.
But you got your way.
Yeah, but I couldn't even complain because I had to defend my mental health. I had to be like, that's a joke. My mother-in-law has one of these mental health support dogs, and it bothers me because she doesn't need it. But it's just like she puts a vest on it so she could take it places.
Free seat. I went to, where was I going? I think it was the last time I went to Boston. No. Anyway, I went somewhere with my wife. It was back to Halifax, and a woman in front of me, she had her dog, and they kept telling her, like, you can't put your dog on the seat. But she wouldn't take it off the seat. They should have thrown her off the plane.
Gone.
Like, it has to be on the ground. That's, 4 different stewardess came up, or flight attendants, sorry, to talk to her. Just like, look, you can have it on the ground in front of you, or put it in your bag. You cannot have it on the seat. That's against Canadian airline regulation. Okay. Just doesn't move it. Like, who are these people? Blows my mind. Quick picks for the 2019 Wyndham Championship. I am going to the very top of the board. Well, not the very, very top. I'll take Patrick Reed, 22. Victor Hovland, 33. Our boy, Das Vanda kid, who everyone's forgotten about. Joaquin Neiman, 50. Kyle Stanley, 80. And then the usual list, Siwoo, Champ, and I'll throw Malnati in as a long shot as well. My cheat sheet will be out on Wednesday on my Facebook page, facebook.com/thepme, to check everything out. What do you got?
I'm going to bet Patrick Reed at 22-1.
Okay.
After that, Neiman at 50.
Okay.
Between that,
You're not doing Hovland?
I'm looking at it very closely. Just like, are we in a Disney movie?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, we might be.
It's been the year of that kind of thing.
No, like with these kids, like they're all just gonna win. And I know it's weird because he's supposed to be the best one, and he like should have. Well, a lot of people thought he'd win first. Norin and Cam Smith, but I'm seeing higher than the 35s on Cam Smith, and he's a form guy, and we saw him play well at the Open. And we saw him play well last. Oh, he actually had an abysmal Saturday. Like,
yeah. He made the cut at all 4 majors this year, which is kind of surprising. He finished T12 last week, but it was all through off the tee. Like, his approach was horrible.
But that's his game, isn't it? Or no, short approach, right?
Yeah.
You're not really scrambling here, though, too, right?
I mean, if we do Donald Ross crossovers, he was T29 at the Rocket Mortgage Classic.
But his strength, you would argue, is like negated here.
The up and down game?
Yeah.
Yeah, people hit an above average amount of greens in regulation.
You got, the guys that win here aren't
Listen, he's a good player. So it's at the point of the year where these guys need to start doing something. And he has flipped it around. Like, his past 3 starts are 12, 20, and 29. He's progressively getting better every single week. And 2 of those were against the British Open field and this WGC field.
Okay. I'm going to bet Reed. I'm going to bet Victor. I'm betting Norin. I'm betting Neiman. There. It's 4 guys. And
I said Kyle Stanley too, right?
And I probably won't have much of a life to look at it over the next 2 days. So that's as complete a pack as I can give you. And I can't let the Wyndham go by without Luke List.
Of course. Or Siwoo. Siwoo's won this before, Jeff.
I know, but it literally seems like
he's down to 160 to 1 in this field.
Okay, fine.
There we go.
Reed, Victor, Norin, Neiman.
Okay, Siwoo and List. And I have Reed, Victor, Neiman, and Kyle Stanley at 80 from the guys below 100. One and done. Picks of the week. I believe I'm going to beat you in our one and done, but we're both not doing well. Cuss is still inside the top 100.
I could win like 2 FedEx Cup events and like maybe, but it's unlikely.
So
that's why Spieth just.
Who'd you have last week? I think you had Bryson. I had Hideki.
No, I had Xander because I'd use Bryson.
All right, so you get to pick before me. Cuss is taking Spieth. I'm taking Hovland. That's my pick. I went through like all the guys I haven't used, and that's one. I wanted to take.
He's the lowest guy of the guys unavailable.
Right,
but I'm tailing you with your sound Hovland advice, so I won't snooch him from you. And it doesn't. The team is so dead in the water anyway.
Might as well go with Norin. No one's using him. You like him?
Sure, let's go.
No Ren, as Tim would say.
Alex Norin.
Alex No Ren. No Ren Ishii.
Sorry. I was like very distracted and have a level of like anxiety today. So I don't know. I hope
you had a fun energy. Like remember when we did the show like a day after my son was born? I was like wired out of control. Feels like that, but you're a bit more composed than I was that day.
Yeah. Well, oh man. Yeah. I don't know.
All right. That'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Jeffrey Fienberg. At G Feinberg 17.
And because I feel like sometimes people just are totally anti anything that is before talking about this week's tournament. As you mentioned earlier, like they skip like the first whatever. They might even skip to quick picks.
Sure, that's why I have time codes.
Sure. But even if
by the way, time codes. Anyone in the content business.
Yeah, you got a time code. You got to honor people's desires.
Yeah.
You make it easier, they'll come back.
Listen, I don't like when people listen at 2 speed. I don't like when people skip ahead, but I do that to other people's shows, so
okay.
You know what I mean? A click's a click. A download's a download.
We'll just throw this into the quick pick part because it's the important part.
We're already past the quick pick part.
Well, this, as you mentioned earlier, to have people tweet certain properties to say more of Pat.
Yeah, at PGA Tour, more Pat, more DraftKings, more everything, and then hopefully they see that there is. I think they're seeing.
They're aware of you now. We're in the hemisphere.
Not only are they aware of me, they're aware of DraftKings, and the more and more like, hey, we need more of this, we need more coverage. The more they're going to hear it now, and the more that they're actually going to pay attention to it. And if you are in the like local GTA area or just want to take a flight in to see the Pat Mayo experience, hit me up on Twitter at the PME. Send me a Facebook message. I mean, I won't see your Facebook message, but someone will pass that along to me. Email me at thepatmayoexperience@gmail.com and let me know if you would actually come to go see a live show. Right now, they want to do fantasy football, but I feel like if we can get enough interest, we might have to fly Cust in for a Cust Corner. Ain't like we get to hang. It'd be fun.
like it.
It'd be a fun night out. Anyway, cheat sheet up on Wednesday. DK show tomorrow with Rick Gaiman. All the football, the Tarantino ranks. Sub to the podcast, the giveaways. Become a member at Fantasy National. Enter the Pat Mayo Experience DraftKings Open. I think we got it all covered here. Best of luck to you, sir. Yeah. Next time I see you, you'll be a two-time parent.
Two-time.
And then you'll have another one. You'll be the Ernest the Cat Miller of parenting.
No, I think this is it. This should be it. 3's never, it seems like too many.
3's a lot. 3 very expensive, especially living in the city.
Yeah, I just see people like with 3 and it just looks like a load. Like it looks like, I don't know. You can't even play man-on-man coverage once you got 3.
You got to play pure
Unless you got like a nanny team or something.
Yeah, and then it gets back up. The finger thing means the taxes, the money.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that will do it for me. I'm Pat Mayo. I want to recommend that everyone pick pugs, not drugs, as they go forward. Remember to sub to the show, give it a like, and all that fun stuff too. Good luck at the Wyndham Championship. Win some bucks, and I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!